Last night, World, the company behind Worldcoin and Worldchain, made a series of massive announcements that makes me believe that it might just be the blockchain that finally breaks into the mainstream. Even Sam Altman was there. And while they didn't launch any kind of ChatGPT integration like I was hoping for, they did have a series of announcements with massive partners that we'll get into in this video. In this video, we'll do a quick overview of every announcement that they had in their event, including the announcement of the launch of DeFi on Worldchain, which at the time of recording this video has some insanely good APYs on USDC, and I actually think that those APYs are going to stay good for a while because you need to be verified by their orb in order to take advantage of them. So without further ado, let's get into these announcements and why they're important. But quickly, in case you forgot, Worldcoin was launched by Sam Altman a few years ago, and initially the main stated focus of the project was some kind of universal UBI for humans. Since then, Worldcoin has rebranded as World and includes Worldchain, which is their very own layer 2 blockchain built on top of Ethereum. Beyond only competing in the finance and payment space like most crypto companies, they're one of the leaders in the identity space using the proof of humanness from their infamous orbs. These are the orbs that scan your eyeball. Theoretically, the combination of these orbs, blockchain, and ZK proofs allow you to verify that you're human without actually revealing any of that sensitive data to the applications that you're using. This kind of verification with the use of blockchain adds some really interesting use cases that wouldn't really be possible before these technologies were put together. And of course, Worldchain, the blockchain beneath all of this, is part of the superchain, which means that in the future, it will be seamlessly interoperable between other superchain blockchains like Unichain, Kraken's Inc., OP Mainnet, and even Base. We'll get into some of the unique partnerships and applications that World is building, but first, they kicked off their event with the announcement that they are launching finally in the USA. This means that US citizens and residents can now get their eyeballs scanned and take advantage of all of these proof of human applications, including receiving periodic airdrops of the World token. It's pretty clear from the amount of focus that they put on this part of the event that World is going all in on the USA. They even announced a new manufacturing facility in the USA for their orbs, and that they would soon have 7,500 orbs around the US to start verifying Americans. They also did a pretty awkward demo of the new self-verification flow, which basically means that if one of these orbs is in a mall near you, you can walk up to it, download the app, and verify yourself without actually interacting with other humans. In addition, they announced the concept of a portable Orb Mini, which kind of looks like a cell phone, but that's not coming for a while. All right, now let's get into the interesting part, which is some of the partnerships. To start out, they said that they think identity is going to be most important in 3 areas: gaming, dating, and social. Gaming, of course, makes a lot of sense because bots are getting better and better, and if you're playing in a tournament, you want to make sure that you're playing against humans. World announced a partnership with Razer, which includes putting the orbs in Razer stores and a tournament that's just for humans that's remote. Normally, big money tournaments have to be done in person to make sure that nobody is actually cheating. So it will be really interesting to see if these remote humans-only tournaments get more popular over time. On the dating front, World announced a partnership with Match Group, which owns pretty much every single dating app that you can think of, including Tinder. The CEO of Match Group himself showed up to announce that they're rolling out World ID verification, starting with Tinder in Japan. As deepfakes and chatbots get better and better, obviously it's going to be super important to know on a dating app if you're talking to the person that you think you are. So I think this is a really good use case, and the fact that the Match Group CEO showed up in person to announce this means that they also are taking this seriously. Honestly, dating is one of the use cases that surprised me, but when you think about it, if you're actually going to meet up with somebody, it's extremely important that they are who they say they are. As part of these partnership announcements, World actually announced a new twist in their tokenomics, which is that any app that is using some kind of World ID verification is going to pay fees in the World token on Worldchain. They have a whole blog post on this, so if you want me to cover the world tokenomics in more detail, just drop a comment. The other part of their announcement, which to me is one of the biggest things, is their mini app store. You see, World app is its own app that stores your ID credentials and your crypto wallet. But as part of it, there are also mini apps within the World app, which is basically like its own app store that has these credentials and your crypto wallet built in. One of those apps that they announced that they're partnering with is Kalshi, the prediction markets app. They also announced some new interesting financial rails for their World app. The first one was a partnership with Stripe, which means that any Stripe-enabled website will now allow you to pay through your wallet on your World app. They also announced a new physical Visa card, which allows you to spend dollars directly from your World app wallet. But the interesting thing that they haven't released so many details on yet is that they're going to give you incentives on this card in the Worldcoin and have some kind of AI incentives built in as well. The other major announcement was that everybody's World app will have bank routing numbers, which means that you'll be able to receive your salary or any deposit from the traditional financial system. Yesterday's announcement also marked the launch of DeFi on Worldchain. Previously, Worldchain has not really focused at all on DeFi. They've been more focused on onboarding users and getting them verified. But yesterday, Morpho launched on Worldchain with a new mini app within the World app. Initially, Morpho is launching with vaults for the World token, USDC, Bitcoin, and ETH. But my favorite part about this is that they are adding massive token incentives on these vaults specifically for verified users, people who have been verified with the Orb. I've probably reviewed hundreds of incentives grants applications as part of Optimism's grants council, and I think using World ID's proof of humanness is a super interesting way to distribute grants. It allows you to make sure that these grants are actually going to real people who are using the network. And as you can see, the APYs on USDC are actually really high right now, specifically for the verified users. Last night, right after the announcement, I went in to take advantage of some of these high yields myself, and I was extremely impressed with how fluid and seamless the UI was for using the mini app within World. There were no UI bugs or glitches like most apps normally have when they launch. And they really did a good job of hiding all of those clunky blockchain mechanics that you see in a lot of Web3 apps. All of these announcements, plus my own experience of using DeFi on a World mini app, really make me bullish on the future of World. Blockchain as a technology has so much potential for humanity, but has always run into problems with user onboarding and user experience. World is obviously taking both of these problems head on, and the evidence shows that they're doing a pretty good job of it. It seems like one of the main goals of World is to be the super app for blockchain-enabled applications, both Web 2 and Web 3. And honestly, I think they're the front runner right now. If you thought that this content was useful, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be making a lot more videos like this on topics that I find interesting over the next few days. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.